we have a dynamic duo taking it up one more next level. You guys ready? Ambassador, Triple Diamond, Dr. David Silverman, and Diamond, Danielle Matthews.
We are family.
We are. Thank you.
We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family.
Well, we are thrilled to be here. And I'm looking at that clock, I got 20 minutes, and anybody that knows me knows that's gonna be a big problem. I'm gonna let her talk most of the time. This stuff is awesome, not the Aquafina, what's in this bottle. How many people are drinking this already? Unbelievable. Problem is I'm standing back there and then I'm like, I drank too much. I run to the bathroom. They're like, you're gonna be late. Things happen for a reason. I go in the bathroom and Wendy, hi, I know you're watching, Wen at home, my wife, she would have killed me. My fly was open. It's a good thing I went into the bathroom. Let me put this down. All right, 20 minutes. Zoltan, congratulations wherever you are. Amazing. Big round of applause for Zoltan. I mean, being business builder, you can hear how humble he is, but he is a coach. And that's kind of what we're going to be, part of what we're talking about today is being a coach. This business is really about, as Tyler says, it's about building people and opening minds. And that's what our topic is. And Tyler called us and said, you guys are the last topic. You got to kill it. So that's why I said, well, let Danielle do it, because she kills everything she does. This diamond is amazing. Give her a round of applause. How many people are on her team here? There you go. So, next level marketing. It's not just a tagline. I knew from the beginning when I met Tyler and Virtus, I already saw the product work. I knew what we had in this thing, that it was very, very different. And you should be proud to be in this company. It is rare in this industry what we have. So, we're going to talk about the difference. And look at that picture. Look carefully at that picture. That was in Melbourne, Florida. Look at the faces on people here. Oh, that's icing on the cake, really. It's just an amazing thing. But we're going to talk about going from building checks to building people and closing sales to opening minds. And I am passionate about both. I'm going to focus on both. I'm going to hand it to you in a minute. But opening minds, okay? I got to get through this quick. Opening minds. I'm not reading the teleprompter because I never had followed anyway. We open minds about a few things: the potential in people, the power of the product, and the opportunity. How many people have put the gel 3 times in 5 minutes on someone who's hurting? Right? Is that the most amazing, mind-opening thing you've ever seen? It's incredible that we can do that. So we want to open people's minds that they don't have to age and deteriorate, that there are options. They're just conditioned to believe that this is what happens to their grandmother, it happens to their grandfather, it happens to their parents, it happens to them, that we can live younger longer. We can feel younger longer, we can look younger longer, right? So we open people's minds about that. And that's pretty critical that we get good at doing that. But we're not about focusing on closing sales. You open minds and get people to investigate this, the sales happen, right? We also open people's minds that maybe there's a better way. You know, a lot of people live on this hamster wheel through their life. I did it as a doctor. I happen to love what I did, but I felt like I was on a hamster wheel. Like I wanted more time freedom in my life. Would anybody like more time freedom in their life? Would anybody really like to be able to decide when you get up what you're going to do that day? It's unbelievable, guys, but people are conditioned to chase the money. They're chasing money. They have to, for security, benefits. This is most people do this. Most people do this. They live for the weekends. So we want to open people's minds up about this. So if you look real carefully at this, I love this. Just look at that for a second. The two guys in the front have pretty closed minds, don't they? And they keep doing what they're doing. They keep doing what they're doing, and you're like, hey, open your mind. Look, maybe there's something better, right? We really do get paid to open minds and to build people. That's what we get paid to do, right? And remember this slide, because part of also opening minds is about themselves. We power potential. And a lot of people just don't have belief in themselves. And Zoltan is an expert at doing this. Danielle is an expert at doing this. She became an expert at doing it. And building people is what the rest of this talk is going to be about. And I'm going to turn it over to Danielle. Here you go, Ben.
So how many of you were here last night and heard Terry Latham's talk? Terry has this beautiful way of keeping things short, sweet, and simple. And if you listen to what he says, it packs a punch. And I will never forget reaching out to him for some advice on how to take my business to the next level. And at the time, it was trying to get myself and my business to the diamond level. And Terry said to me, well, Danielle, diamond's a mindset. That was it. And then he just kind of went on, like there's nothing more to talk about. It's just simply a mindset. And it didn't register with me. I was like, what does he mean by that? And it kept bouncing in my head. Diamond's a mindset, diamond's a mindset. Until finally it hit me. And I don't know if you all have heard the phrase, as within, so without. Or this concept that life is a mirror. But I was in a Bob Proctor course, and one of his trainings, he was saying, if you don't like the results that you're getting in life, you need to look in the mirror, because they are your results. And it was at that moment that what Terry said to me really hit me, the gravity of those words. He was saying, it's a mindset, Danielle. It's internal. It's something within you. It's your thoughts. It's your beliefs. That's going to inform the actions that you are then going to take. And so when I think about this concept that Tyler asked us to speak on, building people, to me, the first person that you need to build is you. And it's so interesting because I think when we look at our results, sometimes we have a tendency to maybe blame something external. We say, well, this was going on with my kids, or my spouse, this is happening, or my upline, my downline, corporate, COVID, whatever the reason. But guys, when you put the blame out here, the reasoning for those results, you get off balance. And the reality is, if you realize that regardless of the circumstances, if you take this and you say, you know what, I actually get to choose my thoughts. I actually get to choose what I'm going to believe in and where I'm going to focus my energy. It is so empowering to take ownership. And when you take ownership, it does sit everything squarely on you. Okay, you can no longer be the victim. And it's a big reality check. You have to start asking yourself some pretty intense questions. Who am I? What is it that I really want in life? What do I feel that I'm worthy of, that I deserve? What's getting in my way? What are the beliefs that are stopping me? And honestly, as you start to do that, you start to peel away all of these false narratives that we get implanted in us. And what happens is you start to actually see the truth of who you are, which is this reality that there's infinite potential flowing to and through you in every single moment. And the highest version of yourself is right next to you. It's right here. And that's why I love this image of the cat looking in the mirror and seeing a lion, the highest, truest version of itself. And you have that within you too. And Bob Proctor has this incredible, he has so much incredible work, and I wanted to honor him as he passed away this year. And just clap if you have been touched by this man in some way. Yeah. He always spoke about the law of vibration, and it's as real as the law of gravity. And if you understand it, it's probably working for you. And if you don't, it's probably working against you. And so he always defined it as, the law of vibration states that you will attract in what is a match for you vibrationally. And what's interesting is that if you were to think of different frequencies, Okay, almost like a radio station. What are you dialed into? And Chuck put up the other day, this room was just filled with newspaper articles, a lot of them having a lot of fear, a lot of sadness, a lot of really intense events that we as a collective have been through over the last couple of years. And it's interesting because so many people take that in, and it's what they think about all the time. And it starts informing their beliefs. They have this fear set in, which informs then the actions that they take. And all of a sudden, they become almost a victim of their circumstance without even realizing it. I mean, how many of you know somebody that constantly is having a problem, the next crisis? It's just like they can't get, I've seen some hands, they can't get out of that funnel. And it's like spiraling down. Well, the reality is you can have the same thing spiraling up. And you know what Bob always says, if you want to know what your true thoughts and beliefs are, because sometimes there's subconscious programming in there, he says just take a look at what your current results are. Don't judge yourself. Be grateful for the journey that got you there. But honestly, over the last couple of days, how many of you have started to think about a different reality for yourself? Yeah. Have allowed yourself to maybe dream a little bit, to feel what it would feel like to get out of this state where you are now. And so, how is it that we go from where we are to up there? How is it that we need to, how do we shift this vibration that we're in, that frequency that we have? And as I was learning in this training with Bob Proctor, I thought, okay, that picture of the lion actually came up to me, and I thought, okay, how do I bring that highest version of myself in my face every single day? And interestingly enough, last convention, back in 2019, I had seen Terry Latham again in the hallway, and he had his $1 Million Earner Club jacket on. And on a whim, I said, hey, Terry, can I take a picture with that? And so I put it on, and it had Business Builder of the Year and a pin and the stamp on the jacket, and we snapped a quick photo. And so what I did is I thought, you know what? That is the frequency that I want to attract in from. That is where I'm going. And so I printed out the photo, literally huge, 8 by 10. I framed it. I put it on my kitchen table. I also printed out a magnet. CVS had this like wooden block thing that I put the image on. And so it was in my face all the time. And I have never taken a photo of something that hasn't happened. And so I put that photo right next to my computer. And so every single day before I got onto any Zoom call, any phone call, I said, how does this version of Danielle show up? What is she saying? How does she talk about this opportunity? How does she talk about this business? How is she answering questions? And what I realized is that she was incredibly clear, she was incredibly confident, and she stood in her power in every single moment. And so I looked at that and I said, okay. And I started being that. I became more clear. I became more confident. I started to stand in my power. And what happened? Well, my reality shifted. All of a sudden, these people showed up that also were clear, confident, and were always standing in their power. People showed up that were looking for a leader that was clear, confident, and standing in their power. And so my reality has started to shift up to this next level. And so, guys, it comes from within you. You have to build you first. And as you peel away these things, and as you start to understand yourself better, what happens is you also start to understand others better. And so what I want to do now is kind of take a little pivot. And I want you to put your leadership shoes on. And I want you to ask yourself this question. If you can integrate this concept and you understand what I'm saying, how can you use this concept to then support your team? And I'm so grateful to David. You know, he has never brought in anyone external to train us on our team. And, you know, through COVID, there were some interesting things going on, obviously, and he brought in a trainer named Brian Biro. And Brian talked to us about this Pygmalion effect. And simply stated, it says that our thoughts, beliefs, and expectations are magnetic. And so, David, I'm handing this back to you to dive deeper on that.
Thank you. I should have. If I got the memo, I would have worn a green suit too, because we got green everywhere here. She's just an embodiment of this. You're looking at two people that needed their minds opened initially, right? I mean, You were not willing at the beginning with the product or the opportunity, and I wasn't either. So opening minds is a wonderful thing. It can change people's lives. But this Pygmalion effect is pretty cool. You heard Zoltan talking about coaches, right? We look in the mirror and we see certain things, and sometimes we can encourage people and say, I see something in you. And it can change everything. She'll probably give you an example in a minute, actually. But let me tell you what this effect is, because this is fascinating to me. Jacobs and Rosenthal, right? They did a study. They did several studies. I'm going to give you one example. They went to a school, and they did IQ tests on all the elementary school students. And then they went to a group of their teachers and said, this group is gifted. These students are gifted. And they have incredible potential. That's all they said. And in fact, it was random. They tested, but they just picked randomly. There was nothing gifted about them, unless it was by coincidence. At the end of the year, they retested. All of those students excelled, way beyond the other students. What does that tell you? It tells you that everybody's got potential. They have to tap into it. They even did a study with rats, and they gave these researchers, said, these rats are, they used the word mentally retarded. That's what's in the paper. These rats are kind of mentally retarded, but these are normal. Teach them how to go through the maze and get to the cheese. And all the rats, it was random. They were all normal rats. The ones that were the ones that thought they had the smarter rats all did better than the other ones. It's belief in people. It's basically saying that, as you see at the bottom, someone believes in us, right? And it changes their actions. They encourage them more. They were encouraging the students more. They were encouraging the rats more. Just the encouragement. And it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because if they put more attention on, say, these guys are better, I'm going to put more attention on them, then it changes the students' beliefs in themselves. They're like, wow, you're doing really good, Johnny. This is amazing. Look at you go. And it's encouragement. And that changes their actions. And it reinforces the coach's belief in that student. Well, instead of just once in a while doing that, look at your groups and encourage them. And have conversations. This really does. It makes a huge difference. And Danielle is a prime example of this, as I can tell you this because I've watched this, and I see it in many people in my group, many people. And sometimes it's me that makes the comment or encouragement, or it's somebody else.
Yeah, Brian talked about this concept of being a positive Pygmalion, and I loved it. Because I look at everybody, each person, and we each have this seed of potential within us. And I moved out to the country, and we've been doing a lot of planting, and we have to be thinking about, how much sunlight is this area getting? What's the pH of the soil? How much are we going to be able to water it? Because that seed has to be in the right environment in order to grow. If it's not, nothing happens, right? It just sits there dormant, waiting. And I truly believe that ASEA is the best environment for this seed of potential within all of us to be able to grow. And in order to do that, we have to be surrounded by these positive Pygmalions, by people that are giving us the right environment, that are literally watering our potential on a daily basis. And I'll never forget, I believe it was my second convention. I was in a room much like this. It had kind of emptied out. I was walking out, and I ran into Alan Noble. And Alan said to me, he said, Danielle, I don't say this to many people. You have what it takes. You're going all the way. And, I had thought it at the time, but, it was very new to everything. But I swear it was like something within me. It took root at a deeper level. And that has been a constant thing. Tyler Norton, when we were in Nashville, out dancing on the floor, he came up to me and he said, Danielle, I want you to know I look at you as equal to the Trish Swinklers in ASEA. He said, you have everything it takes to take this wherever you want to go. And again, it's just this concept to me. And so it has been part of what has brought me to where I am in my journey. And I turn around and I do the same thing with my team. And I was so proud of Natasha Perry today because she, maybe you were in the Build to Bronze, yes, training. But Natasha, what she didn't share earlier today was that she'd gotten a phone call before that 90-day run where she had lost her job. Six-figure income, just came into work one day and they said, you're terminated. And I got a phone call. And I had to sit here and look at Natasha, and this literally is the image I saw. I thought, well, your seed was lying dormant there, Natasha. They didn't see your potential. That was not the right environment for you, so of course the door closed because there's something more for you. And I said, Natasha, this is it. If you apply yourself here, you will soar. And she has already started to do that. And it's been such a pleasure watching that journey and knowing that maybe I had some tiny part of that happening. And so, guys, as leaders, keep shining your light. Keep being that positive Pygmalion. You do not want to get pulled down into the fear, the intensity. It could have very easily been a woe for me party that I had with Natasha, but I refused to. I shined the light on the potential and where I knew, like a magnet, I could draw her. And so, David, do you want to give some last thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I'm going to skip my last cost because we're over. So I just want to, with that slide, I just want to thank Verta so much for so much. It's amazing. Vertus, I think you're watching. We love you so much. Thank you for what you've done for us and for humanity. I'm not gonna talk about what I was going to. You finish.
Whew, okay. Well, let's take a moment. I want you guys to close your eyes, and I want to pour into you all a little bit. There's something in you that is wanting to express itself in a greater way. And from this moment forward, you are done playing small. You are done being the extra in your own movie. It is time for you to be the star. Your time is now, and there is no question that this is absolutely your moment. And I want you to feel the feeling that you have in your body right now. And I want you to imagine your dream, your goal, the highest version of you. And I want you to imagine it as a color. And I want you to take that color and I want you to put it in the center of your chest. This represents your purpose, your dream, your outcome, that fullest expression of what you were put on this earth to do. And I want you to take that color and I want you to take this feeling and expand it and make it richer and make it darker and make it fuller. And I want you to expand it through your chest, down through your feet, so it is rooted so strong in the earth. And now I want you to open it up through the top of your head until this color, this light is shining as the lighthouse, the fullest expression of the person that you were meant to be. You represent an example of what it means to no longer play small, of what it means to be the greatest version of yourself, and that is going to cause others to be the greatest version of themselves. You are a beacon, an example of what is possible, and because of your belief, and because of your conviction, and because of your determination, your passion, others are going to want to be around you. They will feel that if they get around this energy that you hold right now, that they will be able to achieve their dreams too. You were put here for a reason, to be of service, to be a beacon. And as Bob Sima says so beautifully, you are an accumulation of the lives that you touch. And I want you to open your eyes now and just know that I see you, I believe in you, and keep shining your light. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. You fucking killed it.